Attracting women isn't supposed to feel like you're chasing something. She shouldn't feel like this faraway object that you're trying to reach for, but it does. Why is that? It's because you haven't had a high value woman chase you before. Your brain hasn't seen the evidence that you can actually attract high quality women into your life. As a result, you've developed all these unconscious behaviors that are creating this dynamic of you chasing the girl without you even realizing it. You need to start flipping the script, and I'm about to show you how, using 3 subtle techniques that you can use in every interaction to have women chasing you. The very first thing that creates a dynamic where the woman's actually chasing you starts before you even speak. It's called non-committal body language. What this means is that the moment the interaction starts, you're not going to be facing the girl head on with your body language fully squared up. That's committed body language. And what this communicates to the girl is that you're already fully bought into the interaction and you're not going anywhere. The girl has your full attention whether she wants it or not, so she doesn't have to put in any work to actually keep it. What you want to communicate is that you're intrigued, but you're not bought in yet. So having your body slightly turned to the side is a much more powerful way to start the interaction. It tells the girl, hey, you have my attention right now, but I can actually walk away at like any given moment. And as a result, she actually has to work and invest into the conversation to keep your attention. Sometimes when I'm in interaction, I'll actually begin to walk away as if I'm about to leave, but then quickly I bring myself back into the interaction. So that may look like, it's okay, I like Pilates.
Yeah.
It's cool. Well, anyway, I just wanted to ask you that.
Yeah.
Oh, you went to 11? Other times I will literally start the interaction by saying I'm about to leave. For example, hey, excuse me. Hey, I actually really have to go, but I just want to say you look really cute today. Then I turn my body literally as if I'm about to leave, but then quickly come back and say something. So it might look something like, yo, I just want to say you look really cute, okay? Well, actually, where are you from? Something kind of like that. That actually has 2 effects on the girl. Not only is it non-committal and therefore you're more of a challenge and as a result, you're more attractive, but it also makes the interaction feel a lot more real. See, women don't want to feel like they're being picked up. They want to feel like this magical romantic moment just happened to them and it was totally random, not planned. So by being on the verge of walking away, but then coming back into the interaction and staying to get to know her longer, is fulfilling this fantasy that she has. She can now look back at the interaction and be like, wow, he wasn't even planning to talk to me, but then he decided to stay and I'm so glad that he did. Now look, this may seem really subtle, but understand that 80% of human communication is non-verbal, meaning that the subtle things matter. They actually make a massive difference. So if you want to be able to attract high quality women into your life, learning high value body language needs to be in your list of priorities. Now you might be wondering, well, if the body language is non-committal, then how am I supposed to fully get her to stop and like actually pay attention to me? The answer to that is, dude, there's gonna be other non-verbal cues that get her to a complete stop. For example, strong eye contact. So even if your body isn't fully facing her, you're still gonna be maintaining a strong level of eye contact. Combine that with a warm, welcoming smile, and you're gonna be stopping a lot more women that have the desire to invest into the conversation and keep your attention. Now, the next 2 concepts of this video have more to do with the actual conversation itself. If you want help with that first step, just to be able to confidently go up to the girl with high value body language, then click the link in the description. Now, once you've stopped the girl, you have her full attention and you displayed your intention on talking to her, you're gonna start having a little bit of conversation, gonna start getting to know each other. Now, what happens naturally in conversation when 2 people are trying to get to know each other? They usually ask each other some questions, but the way you ask the question is what makes the difference between what feels like an interrogation and a high value man who genuinely wants to know, do you even meet my standard? Are you someone I want to continue talking to, or should I walk away right now? The second subtle technique that makes women chase you is framing the questions from a qualifier's perspective. I'm about to ask the exact same question twice, but the delivery is going to be completely different each time. You tell me which one feels higher value. By the way, how old are you? Wait, how old are you? Did you catch that? One of them came across like a casual get to know you question. The other one came across almost like, if you say the wrong thing, you're gonna lose my attention. This is because of a few subtle changes in my delivery. The first change is the phrasing. Notice how instead of by the way, I said wait. It changes the vibe of the whole question. It's kind of like, hold on, wait. Before we continue, I need to know this thing. Otherwise, we may not be able to continue. By the way, it's just kind of like, oh, I just thought of this question, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I actually love the phrase by the way. I use it all the time. I think it's a great way to bring something up in conversation very casually and under the radar, you know, without bringing like a whole lot of attention to the question. It just doesn't have that same qualifier effect that we're trying to create here. The second change that makes this delivery so powerful is the intonation. Each question has a certain melody to it. If you were to close your eyes and listen back to the questions, you could actually hear the difference without even looking at me. That ultimately boils down to what syllables of that question are pitched up and which syllables are pitched down. Typically, when you're asking a question from a qualifier perspective, you're gonna pitch up at the very beginning of the question. So it goes from how old are you to how old are you? Now combine that with like a skeptical kind of facial expression and you're gonna get a really powerful effect. The way I make my face look skeptical is just by squinting my eyes and like slightly turning my face away like that. It kind of gives the vibe of like, wait, I don't believe you right now. Or kind of like, wait, there's something you're not telling me. These three changes together can take any get to know you question and turn them into a qualifying question. But in a real conversation, you're gonna have a mixture of both. You don't wanna ask every question from a qualifier perspective because it's gonna come across like a little bit gamey, a little bit try hard. You don't want to overdo it. It's gonna get old quick. You just want to sprinkle it in here and there in conversation to remind the girl that like, hey, I'm not easily won over. You haven't fully won me over, and I'm a high value man who has standards. The problem is right now, you're not doing any of this in your conversations. So you're just asking a whole bunch of questions. The whole conversation feels like you're easy and the girl doesn't have to do anything to earn your interest. She just has it. So this is the perfect way to take something you're already doing in your interactions and just make it higher value. Now moving on to the third thing that's gonna make the girl chase you is disagreeing. This might actually be the most important concept of the three because right now, you're agreeing with everything the girl says. Right now, you are scared to have a different opinion than the girl because she might walk away from you from having it. Right now, everything the girl says is so cool and you love everything about her. The more you start to disagree with the girl, the more you're gonna set yourself apart from all the other guys who are talking to her. You're just different. You're not as simple. You're not as agreeable. You're not as boring. But there's two different ways of disagreeing. The first is playful disagreeing. Let me give an example. Imagine you're talking to a girl about your food taste and you ask her what her favorite cuisine is. And let's just say hypothetically your favorite cuisine is Italian, but her favorite cuisine is Mexican. Instead of saying, yeah, that's a great choice. I love Mexican too. You could say, what? Mexican? Yo, like Italian food is so much better. What do you mean? The girl is not gonna get offended over that, dude. In fact, she's gonna be so happy that you're not like every other guy and agreeing with everything she says. You actually have an opinion of your own. But also, because you said it in such a playful vibe, this could create a fun moment where both of you are disagreeing with each other. Now, she's naming all her favorite Mexican food, and she's like, well, how can you compete against tacos? And you're like, okay, but like, what about pasta? Like, how can you live without pasta? And it's just fun. Now, it does not always have to be playful. In fact, I think there's a time and place for you to just straight up disagree with the girl. For example, let's just say the girl says, yeah, I don't really believe in marriage. It's pointless. You could say, what? Marriage is definitely not pointless. I mean, you're creating a covenant under God and taking your commitment more seriously to the next level. I don't think it's pointless. Or let's just say she says something like, yeah, I love to go out on the weekends and get drunk with my friends. You could say, oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm not really into that actually. I'm more into personal development. Again, this just shows the girl that you actually have backbone and you have standards. That you're not gonna accept everything the girl does, especially if it doesn't align with you. What's funny though is that even me telling you this, a lot of you are still gonna click off this video and then go agree with everything the girl's saying because you think that if you disagree with her, she's gonna lose interest in you. Like, dude, no, don't you understand that agreeing with everything she's saying and being such a nice guy is what's making them lose interest in you, not the other way around? Now look, if you apply all the concepts I discussed in this video, then you're definitely gonna create a much more powerful dynamic where the girl actually has to earn you to keep you. It's not just you chasing her the whole time. But you can only actually do these things if you can hook the interaction from the beginning. If you're just getting instant rejections all the time, then you're not even gonna get a chance to apply some of these concepts. So if you wanna learn learn exactly what the perfect 10 seconds of an approach look like, then click the video on screen now. But if you're done sitting around watching the content and you want to be the man that actually takes the action, then click the link below and apply to work with me personally. In order to keep the coaching personal and results focused, I'm only opening 5 slots right now. So if you're serious about changing, then submit your application. If you're a good fit, I'll be in contact with you soon.